In this video, I'll show you how to build this fully dynamic personal finance tracker in Excel. You simply log your transactions once and everything flows automatically into the tracker. Here you have some KPIs and visuals up top, followed by the breakdown of the income, the expenses, and the savings by month, by category, and even by annual averages. Once completed, there's zero copy pasting, zero pivot tables, and zero formula headaches. Let's go over how to build this step by step. First up, we have the transaction sheet where we list out all of the different incomes and expenses. Over on the side, you'll notice we have all of these different types. So all of the types of income that we have up here, and then all of the different types of expenses down below. And feel free to remove some, to change their names, or do whatever you like there. And over here is where we would actually write each transaction. That said, to not make this process too manual, we'll add a few formulas. First for the month, instead of putting manually that this is January and doing the same thing for each transaction you add, you can just use a formula like the text function. And here the value is the date, comma, and the format text is where we're just gonna put in quotations an M 3 times. That means it's the month. So it's just gonna extract the month text name, so it's January there. And we can double click here to take it all the way down to the bottom where we have some data for December. Now, same thing for the income and expense. And before I do that, let me convert all of this into tables by pressing Ctrl T here. Same thing over on this side, Ctrl T. And I'll show you what this does in a second. Now you can see the formatting is a bit easier to read and we can use that same lookup. Lookup value is the salary. Where can we find the salary? Within this whole range over here. Make sure you select till the bottom. Comma, and the return array, what do you want as the answer? We want it to see if it's an income or an expense. So we'll select that part, close up parenthesis, and hit enter. You can see what it does as a table is it spills it down all the way to the bottom. We can also do very easy filtering now. So if I say, hey, I just want to see those that are eating out, we can easily click on them and investigate further. If you need to add more transactions now, because this is a table, on the bottom, I can say 2026. Let's say January 1st, you can see that auto-populates. We have the January. We also have whether it's an income or an expense. And now one more thing we should add here is a data validation. So I want to add a drop-down giving us all of these different option types. So we'll select all the way to the bottom there like that. And then head over to data and click on data validation, which is this button right here. We want this to be a list. And that list is going to be based on this source over here to the side, which are all of our different types. We'll press on OK, and now each of these has an option from this whole list. This way, we're not going to write something that's not within the types. Now, at the very bottom, all I need to do is choose one. Let's say this is a side hustle, and therefore it's detecting it as an income. The description is fairly optional. You can put something if you want, or leave it blank. One more important thing to note is that over here to the side, if you're not sure what something means or you want to clarify it, you can always right click on it and go to New Note. This way I can write something like groceries not included. This way it's very clear that within household goods, we shouldn't include groceries. Awesome, we've set up the transaction sheet and now we're ready to work on the actual tracker. Here you can see I've already laid out the income and the different types of expenses. I've actually categorized them in separate sections, as you can see right here. The important thing is that you take all of the different types and add them in here. It's very important that you don't miss any. That's why I've gone ahead and done it ahead of time. Now we're ready to add all of the months, so January, February, and for the other ones, we can just extend this out all the way to December like that. And we can start doing the different formatting. So for this area, maybe at the very end, we should also add like the total and the average as well. I can put AVG like that. And I can select this whole area and change the coloring. Let's say for this one, I go for a green color. And I'm also going to change it to a white font like that. And we want to follow those same steps, this time for the expenses. So I'm going to select all of that part right here. And maybe for all expenses, we're going to make them blue and a white like that. I can also take the total here and the average here as well. Now, once we have this formatted for one, I can Control C to copy that. Down over here, Control Alt V, and I only want to paste the formats This means that the wording, it's not going to change from transport to home, which is the one we're copying, and instead it's just going to remain fixed like that. Again, here, Control-Alt-V, paste formats. Same thing over on this one, Control-Alt-V, paste formats. There we go. I'm going to take the total and the average and copy those down over here on each one. And now we're ready to work on the actual totals. So for each of these, it would be good to see like the total income here, then the total expenses, etc. And I'm also gonna add maybe a bold on this area and add a border on the top part, kind of like this. Let me fast forward how I do the other ones. Awesome, we have this formatting done, and now we're ready to actually fill them in with values based on the transactions using a formula. Before we do that, one thing this tracker doesn't cover much are Excel charts, and an excellent way to access them is using chart templates like the ones HubSpot is kindly providing us. By clicking the link in the description, you can access a variety of Excel chart templates completely for free. The download includes an Excel file with instructions on how to use this template, along with a range of chart types to visualize your data. You can easily modify the data within these templates and the charts automatically update. These templates can accommodate either a single column of data or multiple columns depending on your needs. I personally find these templates most useful for determining what chart type suits my data best, as I can see all of them at once. So I recommend visiting the link in the description below to download these completely free chart templates from HubSpot to level up your Excel skills, and thanks to them for sponsoring this video. Alright, now we're ready to fill all of these values in here, and to do that, we'll first clean up this whole transactions area. Remember, I added a row at the very end just to demonstrate, so let me delete that. And now within the tracker, we're gonna use the SUMIFS function. And make sure you pay attention here, as this is the hardest part of the video. So sum range are all of the amounts. That's what we want to get the sum of. Comma, and the criteria range number 1. So in fact, when we look at the tracker, we have two criterias. It needs to be a specific item, like the salary, the interest, or the gifts. And it needs to be in a specific month, like January, February, or March. So the criteria range number 1 we'll choose as the different types. So here they are on the side. We'll select all of those with Control-Shift-Down, comma, and the criteria 1, so what type do we want it to be? Well, we want it to be this exact one, which is the salary. Right now you can't see it, but it's basically in B12. That said, we want it to move down, so as we copy this formula down, we want it to move to the interest, the gifts, etc. But when we move this to the side, we want it to stay fixed at column B, because we don't want it to go into January, etc. So for that, we're actually gonna use the F4 key. You'll notice that gives us dollar signs. We only want that to be at the B, so it stays fixed at column B, comma, criteria range number 2, we've accounted for all of the different types. We now need to account for the months. So under transactions, we want to select all of the months area, Control-Shift-Down, comma, and the criteria number 2 is which month do we want it to be? Well, we want it to be in January. And again, we want it to lock this time on row 11. We don't want it to be going up and down, but we do want to move it across to the side. So it goes to February, to March, etc. So we'll put the F4 key there, not once, but twice. So it's locked only on row 11. Close up parenthesis. And now we can check if this is working correctly by copying and pasting all of this all the way down to the bottom like that. So let's check that last one. You'll notice how it's moved all the way to December. And down over here, it's moved all the way to the gifts and other. So that's all looking good. And best part is, once we have this done, I can copy it and use it for the expenses part too. So I can just paste that within this area, within this other area as well, and all the way to the bottom. Let me fast forward that. Awesome, now that the values are laid out, we can calculate all of the sums and the totals. And for this, I can select this whole area right here and Alt equals. That basically gives me the sum of all of these by month. Now I can do the same thing over to the side, Alt equals, and that gives me the side one. So that's gonna be for the salary, what's your total salary, what's the total in side hustle, etc. And the average is simply gonna be the average from December to January. And I'm gonna drag this down with Control R. Now we can just take the sum over to the side like that. I think you get the idea there. Let me fast forward how I do these other ones. Awesome, now we have all of the totals split by month and by category. But if we have the income and we have the expenses, we can also calculate the savings. For this, we can go down all the way to the bottom part, right around here, and let's call this the savings. And I'm gonna format this maybe in an orange color. So right over here, let's say I go for this orange and change it to a white and bolden it. Here we'll have the same totals and the same average over to the side. And here, instead of just having these savings, so whatever you've saved in a specific month, it makes sense to have something like the start balance. This basically says whatever it was, let's say January 1st, 2026, you probably already had some savings prior to that. So that's a good way to account for them and see if they've grown over time. So right here, let's say we put a starting balance of $10,000 that we've got, and I can just change the color so I remember that this is slightly different to the rest. And I can also add a note. So new note here, this is savings on Jan 1st. Awesome. So now we can calculate what's the savings for the month of January and add it from there. Now here we're gonna have something like the cumulative savings. And let me format this one right here, Control B, and I'm gonna add a top border, which is Alt HBP. Awesome. So the savings, first we need to actually calculate the total expenses. Maybe we can do that somewhere over here. And this is gonna be the sum of the total enjoyment, the total life and health, total transport, and the total home. Let me close the parenthesis and I can drag this over to the side with Control R. The very last one, let me make sure this is correct. I don't think this one makes that much sense. So I'm actually gonna delete that and add the average of these months right here. Awesome, let me format this one as well. I'm just gonna add a top border and bolden it too. So now for the savings, it's gonna be equals to our total income minus the total expenses that we've got down over here. And the cumulative is simply the sum of these two. For the next year or the next month, sorry, that's just gonna be the same as the cumulative from the end of the previous. And then we're gonna add the savings that we had during that period. And at the very bottom here, it's simply the sum. So now we can have this and drag it over to the right with Control R. Let me format these numbers. You'll notice they don't have those commas like the ones up above. So I'm gonna press Control 1 here. Under number, I'll choose to add a 1000 separator, put 0 there, and OK. As for the totals on the side, it doesn't make much sense to sum all of the starting balances. Maybe over here we can sum the savings so we can see the total savings for the year, and we can also see the average savings per month. Awesome. While we do have all of the right values already calculated, it does look a bit overwhelming. You can see there's so many numbers, so it makes sense to maybe format these parts right here in a slightly different color. So for instance, these I can have in a light green color like that. That said, you'll notice I lose those borders. So first what I'm gonna do is get rid of all borders entirely like that by going to View and clicking on Grid Lines. Then for these that are in here, I can maybe change them and just add borders for that part. So I'm gonna go for line color. Let's say I go for a gray color like this one right here. And I'm just gonna do it on 1. And now I'm ready to create an all borders around this whole area. Nice, now you can see what that looks like. And I wanna do the same thing for these parts right here. But this one, instead of in this green color, I'm gonna change it to lighter blue like this one. Borders all around it like that. Let me fast forward the rest. Nice, I think this is looking a lot nicer. And on the side here, for some of these totals, we could also add some data bars. So by going to conditional formatting and just adding data bars like that, we can see that the salary accounts for the large majority of the income of this particular person. Now for all these other ones, I can change it maybe to a blue color like this. And let me fast forward that. Awesome, you can see this is really starting to take shape right now, but we have all of this empty area up top, which is what we'll work on now. This is where we can add some kind of KPIs or visuals as well. For example, how much have we saved year to date? How much do we have in income year to date? All of that can be pretty useful information. And first up top here, I'm just gonna add the title for it. Let me call this a personal finance tracker. And I'm also gonna add some borders on the bottom here. So for this whole area, I'm just gonna add a bottom border like that. Now here's where we'll put the different titles. Let me fast forward that. So firstly, the year-to-date income is going to be equals to just linking this cell, and this is not a formula, so that's nice and easy. Even if you didn't have data for a few months, let's say because it's still only July, then it's still gonna count for that just fine, which is why I call it the year-to-date. Then year-to-date expenses, that's gonna be towards the bottom here. It's this figure, hit enter. And then we've got year-to-date savings, which is gonna be this one minus this one, right? So the income minus the expenses. The cumulative savings is gonna be all the way to the bottom, this figure right here, and hit enter. Great, we have this side of the KPIs done, and now it would be nice to create some kind of visual over here that basically says, in January, were you up or were you down? So did you actually save any money or did you end up losing money that month? For that, we're gonna select the different months. So here we have from January to December selected. Once we have these two areas selected, we'll go over to insert and choose a 2D column chart like this. Awesome. Let me quickly reformat this. So ideally, whenever the value is positive, we want it to be in in green, and whenever it's negative, be in red. For this, we can select the different bars, right click, format data series. Then first, we'll actually add a bit less of a gap. So the gap width, let's move it down like that, just so it's a bit more full. But under the bucket here, we can go to invert if negative. That's what we'll go for. And I'm gonna go for solid fill here. You'll notice we have two choices under the white part. That's when it's a negative value, we'll make them red. And whenever they're positive, we'll make them green like that. Close that part out. I'm also gonna add some data labels. So it's gonna be this right here on the top. That means we don't need these ones on the side. We also don't really need those grid lines. So let me make this a bit smaller and add it to the relevant part. To get rid of some of these borders, go to right click, format chart area, and go for no fill and no line. Now you can see it fits in really nicely. Best part is this chart type is automatic. So let's suppose I manually change one of the savings here to be positive. So I'm gonna put 5,000 in here, something very big. You'll notice that this chart type updates automatically. It goes from red to green and all of the values move along. Press Ctrl Z there to go back. And to quickly show you the final product, let's go over how to add a transaction here. Let's suppose that I add a new one for 2026. Let's say I go for January 1st. And I'm gonna make this very big. This part auto-populates. Let's say I've got 10,000 in here, and that's gonna be 10,000 in side hustle. So it should show up. We said the description is optional. And now when we go over to the tracker, you'll see January has spiked up because this side hustle made 10,000. You don't need to do anything from there. There's no formulas you need to edit, copy paste, etc. So everything is completely automated based on this transactions tab, where you'll want to add the different transactions. How awesome is that? But to be honest, this tracker doesn't have that many visuals. So if you want to learn how to build awesome visuals in Excel, check out this video over here, or you can take our Excel course over here. Hit that like and that subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.